Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Aidan.
I'm G.
Today we've got American foods that are banned in other countries. No.
I don't understand why. I mean,
Like
I guess
banned.
I guess it must be like some places don't like PE numbers and stuff like that. But I can't see why you would ban stuff in other countries.
I can't imagine that either.
No.
I remember they saw I don't remember what it was, but it was some sort of toxic waste sweet. But I don't know if it was just banned in other countries or it was just outright banned. But they had pencil lead in it or something. So they had to just ban it because it was obviously not good for you.
Yeah, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't really think of any though, of why it would be banned.
I know there's a big thing about palm oil. A lot of countries won't allow palm oil.
Is there what's the reason?
It's to do with the gorillas. It's like killing out species of gorillas, I think, something to do with
Let's
that.
find out the American foods that are banned in other countries.
Most Americans want to believe that the United States is the gold standard of clean food. But that belief may not hold up to scrutiny. From unsanitary practices in mass production to the addition of dangerous chemicals, countries have good reason to give the side eye to imported foods claiming to be USDA approved. That's right, this week we're talking about American foods that have been banned by other countries. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. Then leave a comment and tell us what other world food facts you would like to know more about. Now let's see how wrong the rest of the world really is. Since the dawn of...
Well, it's not banned here.
No, unless they make them differently here.
No, I'm guessing it's probably just banned in a few countries that we don't know about as well.
Right, okay.
Skittles, there have been rumors about the dangers of eating them. Every one of us heard at least one classmate claim that the red ones make you sterile, and the yellow ones, they give you cancer.
What?
Turns out, it might be worse than that. First of all, your classmate wasn't wrong. The dyes known as Yellow 5 and Yellow 6 have been linked to hives and hyperactivity in children. Sweden and Norway have banned the candies out of concern.
Yeah.
The European Union will most likely be banning Skittles at the end of the year, having already swapped out some of the dye for more natural flavors. This is because of something called titanium dioxide, which can be found making the colors pop across the rainbow. Research linked titanium dioxide to damaged DNA, which can lead to cancer. While Europe may be ahead of the Skittles awareness curve, America is quickly catching up. In May of 2021, the Environmental Working Group asked the FDA to categorize titanium dioxide as toxic. And yes, before you ask, right now the FDA says it's okay to consume some of that chemical compound. You can taste the rainbow, but just in moderation. California is home to an ongoing lawsuit against Mars Inc., the parent company of Skittles. The lawsuit claims Skittles are not only toxic, but are unfit for human consumption. So maybe for now, play it safe. Just go have some Swedish fish instead.
Oh, I love Swedish fish.
Yeah,
you can't get it here though, really, unless you go into an American sweet shop.
I've seen them somewhere. I've seen sweet.
Yeah, you do see them, but it's you see American sweets a lot here, but they're always quite a lot more expensive.
Yeah, they
and
are
stuff.
more expensive.
And are harder to find.
I used to
obviously,
making Skittle vodka. Have you ever made that?
No.
So you put Skittles into vodka and you just leave it for weeks, and every day you just
weeks.
Yeah. You just leave it and you just shake it up and shake it up, and then you can pour it into Jello and make Jello shots.
Jesus. Unpopular opinion, my people might disagree, but I think Skittles are overrated anyway.
I'm not a fan of sweets.
Yeah, you're not, but I don't think Skittles are all that. The sour ones are better.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I'm not a very sweet person. So.
Ever looked at a piece of crusty French baguette, be it in cartoon or in real life, but let's be honest, it was probably in the hands of Pepe Le Pew, and think, I can't make a sandwich with that? As great as we talk about the invention of sliced bread, a lot of European countries have actually banned much of what you'd find on America's wide grocer shelves. That's because we make a lot of our bread not just with grain, but with a variety snack packs worth of additives, like azodicarbonamide, for example, which helps bleach flour and strengthen dough. Fun fact about azodicarbonamide, it's also used in a spectrum of industrial products, including yoga mats. Downward dogs. The European Union is really against the idea of its citizens eating yoga mat material and has banned their use in food products. Pork, the other white meat, is a staple of American meats along with chicken, fish, and beef. From bacon to ham, hot dogs to pork chops. American meat eaters consume about 67 pounds of pig per person every year.
Wow.
Soo-ee, my heart is stopping. Don't get us wrong, other nations indulge in swine just as much, if not more, than Americans. So why doesn't the U.S. export scores of succulent bacon-bearing boars? Well, it turns out America adds a lot of chemicals during processing. Ractopamine in particular is used in many pig farms to raise porkier porkers. Ractopamine, which we put a dash of in a lot of foods, has been banned in 160 countries, which all consider the drug unsafe for human consumption. This in turn has led to a prohibition of pork exports across the world. The EU hasn't touched the stuff since outlawing ractopamine in 2009. China and Russia have been ractopamine-less since 2013. Maybe that's because ractopamine has the same effects as an intoxicant on humans and can cause tachycardia, headaches, and muscle spasms if consumed in large enough quantities. But it is a small price to pay for a perfect piece of the pork.
We don't eat pork in our house. We eat bacon.
Yeah, we don't really have like a pork chop, would we?
But we don't buy pork chops or like a joint of pork.
Or like a pulled pork sandwich or something like that.
No, we don't have pork at
Yeah,
all.
but I reckon that's probably one of the only foods that I would actually feel bad like eating it in front of like a pig. Like I wouldn't feel bad like eating chicken in front of a chicken or beef in front of a cow. But if I had like a bacon sandwich in front of a pig, I don't know. But I reckon it'll be harder to eat it. Do you know what I mean?
I must admit, many years ago, my mum had made a roast lamb, and she sliced it into after it had cooled down, she sliced it, and we took it on a picnic, and we had it on sandwiches. So she'd buttered some rolls, and then we opened the foil and just put our roast lamb onto the sandwiches, and a little bit of mint jelly it was, and I didn't eat my last bit, and I gave it to the sheep.
Jesus.
I know. So it was a bit like
Cannibalism.
yeah.
Hygiene in America often comes down to dousing stuff in a chlorine bath and calling it
imagine how much that
FDA
stinks?
approved.
Yeah.
And chicken is no exception. Pathogen reduction treatments, or PRTs, refer to the use of different chemicals to destroy harmful microbes on raw meat. Somewhere along the line, American food regulators decided a quick chlorine shot was the best way to kill salmonella and other bacteria on uncooked poultry. Chlorine marinade. And look, it's not that the EU is against taking a long gulp from the public pool now and then. In fact, the risks posed by chlorine consumption are relatively low. The bigger concern is that the chlorine baths are just an eye-burning Band-Aid on a larger problem. The tip of the beak, so to speak. They're worried that the PRTs are insufficient to deal with more than just...
it looks a lot worse when they're like that, doesn't it?
My friend Cara went to a what do you call them where they kill them? Abattoir or something like that.
A slaughterhouse.
Yeah, but it's called an abattoir or something. And she saw all the chickens like that, and she became a vegetarian for about 10 years.
No.
So she couldn't eat meat after seeing that.
See, that's what I'm saying about the pigs. Chickens so it doesn't bother me, to be honest. Like, as bad as it sounds, I could go there and still eat chicken.
When we lived in Abu Dhabi, our neighbour took us to the desert, and he said, "Do you want to see how we what's the national bird called?"
Where?
In Abu Dhabi, in the Middle East.
The good desert eagle?
Falcon.
Was it a falcon?
So he took a falcon, and he had it on his arm.
Right.
And then he had a drone, and he attached a live chicken to the drone, and the drone went up, and then he let the falcon go, and it went up, swooped, ripped the chicken from the drone and brought it back to him, and it was just all like
Yeah.
and I was sat there like, okay.
Yeah, it is hard to be fair.
Bacteria, and don't get at a potential contamination from things like low-quality feed to unsanitary coops on farms. The EU called the chlorine rinse an easy fix, arguing no chemical rinse will ever remove all bacteria from meat heavily contaminated as a result of poor hygiene. That hurts extra to hear it from the French. Mountain Dew is the closest any soft drink has come to being fully weaponized. But did you know in Austria and Norway, the soda is outright banned? That's because Mountain Dew's signature Chernobyl radiant hue comes from tartrazine, also known as yellow 5. And if your ADHD hasn't kicked in yet, you'll remember that color and number from the Skittles section earlier. It's been linked to headaches, hyperactivity, and the desire to be annoying to other people. Ironically, the qualities that make Mountain Dew a soda non gratis in other countries is exactly what the brand promotes: a frenetic, over-caffeinated lifestyle. Do the dew.
It's not a popular drink here at all.
No, it's not very
You
nice.
don't really see anyone drinking it.
No, it's not. I don't like it.
I don't remember the last time I
really
saw
sugary.
anyone drink a Mountain Dew.
No. Maybe it's banned here without us knowing.
No, because I see it in shops,
Oh, you
but I
do?
never. It's always the only drink that's full on the
Yeah,
shelves.
nobody likes it.
Baja Blast. Woo-hoo. And while you might be able to find Mountain Dew in Europe, it's going to hit a little different. That's because Europe spent exactly 2 years in the 90s riding the dew before discontinuing it. What is being sold as Mountain Dew in the EU has a recipe closer to the original carbonated beverage, as created by Tennessee beverage bottlers Barney and Ollie Hartman in the 1940s. The original Mountain Dew was meant as a whiskey mixer, with the name coming from the affectionate Scottish term for moonshine. It'll tickle your innards, is what the old ads used to read. No lies detected here.
Yahoo! Mountain Dew!
It's like a cookie type
Little
cake.
Debbie has been providing Americans with comfort snack food since the 1960s, with their variety of zebra cakes, star crunches, nutty bars, fudge rounds, and cosmic brownies. But their big claim to fame, as anyone who has ever had their lunch packed by a parent can attest, is the Little Debbie Swiss Rolls, a mixture of rich chocolate cake and butter-creamy filling. Over 900 million cartons of Little Debbie products are shipped each year, but none of those cartons go anywhere near Austria or Norway. Blame those rascally additives, yellow 5 and red 40. Swiss rolls contain 32 milligrams of dye per product, and in those quantities, they've been shown to have an adverse effect on children. And we're not just talking about causing hyperactivity, although one study found that cutting all artificial food coloring from diets may
Swiss rolls are disgusting, by the way.
I don't like Swiss rolls.
be
either.
1/2 as effective as prescribing kids Ritalin. And while we can't prove there's a direct connection between artificial food coloring and cancer, they do cause damage to white blood cells, causing them to mutate after only 3 hours. Exposure to these dyes could cause tumor cells to multiply way more rapidly. For that reason, researchers say a high chronic intake of food colorings throughout the entire life is not advisable. If only they weren't so delicious. Surprisingly, you can buy Little Debbie's Swiss rolls in the EU, but they come with warning labels advising parents of the potential dangers to kids. You know, like cigarettes.
Special K.
When you hear the words banned breakfast cereal, you're probably imagining one of the countless kid-focused brands of sugary morsels, like the oh-so-delicious Cookie Crisp. So you might be surprised to learn that it's actually Special K, the most boring cereal on all of the earth, that has
So
been
you
banned.
say that Special K, like, but that's probably one of the best cereals. Like that type of cereal is definitely the best.
You like all those cereals like Rice Krispies, Weetabix.
Yeah, the people that would say boring cereals,
Yeah.
I would say they are the best cereals.
Yeah.
Because you don't want, like, if I'm waking up in the morning to have a bowl of cereal, I don't want anything like chocolatey
No, or yeah.
or like overly sugary.
Yeah,
I want something I could that's like put fruit in it as well.
Yeah, because when I buy you Crave.
Like granola is probably my favourite thing
Yeah,
is in
granola
the
with
cereal
yogurt,
wise.
yeah.
I would put granola with milk.
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying, when I buy you Crave, you seem to have it at night time rather
Yeah,
than
yeah. I
in the
would never
morning.
eat it in the morning.
No.
Yeah.
Banned in Denmark and discouraged in the EU. How does the healthiest box of flakes on the shelf get banned, while stuff like Reese's Puffs and Cinnamon Toast Crunch continue to enjoy free passage? Ironically, because of its supposed health benefits. In the UK, Special K has been put on blast by the Advertising Standards Authority for exaggerating how much folic acid they pack into portions. Though it's still legal to buy in Europe, Denmark has completely banned Special K since 2004 for all its fortified vitamins and minerals.
What?
Regulators argue
That's
that Kellogg's
surprising.
cereal's unnaturally high levels of everything from vitamin A to zinc actually qualify Special K as a genetically modified organism, or GMO. More specifically, Special K is swole with the same artificial compounds that studies have shown to potentially pose health risks, specifically to children and pregnant women. In conclusion, you may want to stick with crunch berries. You don't need to take a transcontinental flight to visit countries that have banned American foods. Just drive up to the Canadian border, flash your passport, and sign an affidavit saying you're not smuggling any steak tartare in your trunk. Today, consuming raw meat has fallen out of fashion in the US, much like other foods like veal and pate, which don't make you...
If you have it right, raw meat is better than...
Yeah, I agree. I love steak tartare.
Steak tartare and like carpaccio is better than having a steak.
Yeah, I agree. And I also love tuna tartare.
No, I can't vouch for that one. But like steak, like it's so much nicer.
Yeah, I agree.
Sick, but might make you sad. But while baby cow and overstuffed goose liver is illegal in parts of America now, tartare is not. See, while veal and pate may be uncool, they are also served hot. Unlike tartare, which is chopped up cold meat.
On that bread as well,
cow.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Undercooked or raw foods can lead to an increase in food poisoning and parasitic infections, especially in beef and poultry. But considering how fancy pants steak tartare is, Titanic food one might say, you'd think countries might look the other way and let the luxury delicacy slide. And for a long time they did. In Canada, meat has to reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, the equivalent of a medium rare steak, in order to be considered safe to serve, but those rules aren't strictly enforced. That is, until recently. In 2021, restaurants in New Brunswick selling steak tartare were all served cease and desist letters. Canadian public health officials had decided that amid the ongoing health crisis of COVID-19, the last thing their citizens needed was a side order of botulism.
On top of a steak tartare as well, they put a raw egg.
Yeah. A
best.
raw egg?
Yeah, it's raw.
So everything's raw?
Yeah. Did you think it was cooked, the egg?
I thought it was like just like a runny yolk, yeah.
No, it's raw.
Ah, so you can't have raw meat in Canada?
It's crazy,
That's crazy,
right?
Yeah.
Is there anything more American than Coca-Cola? The fizz, the flavor, the former secret ingredient, cocaine. Coke is basically apple pie in beverage form. And it's not just Americans who are cuckoo for Coke. Invented by a pharmacist in 1886 Georgia, Coca-Cola quickly caught on overseas. It was the World War II GI's drink of choice. Pre-pandemic, Coca-Cola had 500 brands in over 200 countries, making it the best-selling soft drink and one of the most recognizable brands of all time. But there will always be exceptions, and unlike the other entries on the list, for once it has nothing to do with health concerns. Everybody knows that Coke is not good for you. We just decided collectively that we don't care. No, the countries that have outlawed the brand have done so because of what it represents, a symbol of the encroachment of American capitalism. From 1962 to 2011, the U.S. banned sales of Coke to Burma as part of sanctions against the military junta that ruled the country until 2011. It resumed sales in the country in 2012. Today, Coca-Cola is only unavailable in 2 countries with long-term trade embargoes with the U.S. North Korea hasn't allowed Coke since 1950, and the bubbly beverage has been banned in Cuba since Fidel Castro ceased supplies in 1962. First the prequels, now Coke. Is there anything that can't be ruined by the federalization of trade taxation? In a twist of irony and lime, Cuba was actually one of the first bottlers of the beverage outside of America. Today, Cuba Cola has replaced Coke as the country's soft drink of choice, though black market sales abound. After all, it is the birthplace of the Cuba Libre, aka the rum and Coke. M&M's, the delicious melt-in-your-mouth, not-in-your-hand snacks, were originally a collaboration between the Scion sons of the Mars and Hershey dynasties in 1941. Like Coca-Cola, M&M's gained international fans during World War II, as American soldiers popularized the candy overseas.
M&M's is another one of them things that I was saying this about Oreos. So you have the original Oreos, but then you make like all other Oreos, like mint. Like I've tried them thin mint ones. Someone said in the comments that's really nice as well. Like the double stuff, the thin ones, they're always better than the original ones, and that's the same with M&M's. Like they make the peanut M&Ms, they're better than the original
Yeah,
M&Ms.
I
They make like the
agree.
crispy M&Ms, they're better than the original M&Ms. Do you know what I mean?
I like Smarties, and so Smarties.
Smarties are probably better, I
are
agree.
miles better than
Yeah, I think so as
M&Ms.
well. I agree with that.
These is the chocolate that won't get your trigger finger all sticky. But you won't find the candy in Sweden, where it's banned due to a trademark conflict with a popular national candy that also features lowercase m's as its signature. When Mars introduced the candy to Sweden in 2009, a court ruled its marketing too similar to that of the Norwegian Marabous, which resemble Kit Kats. During World War I, Marabou had moved its manufacturing to its Swedish neighbors, where it received a royal warrant of appointment by the King of Sweden. And here we thought the Swiss were the chocolate snobs. Should you want to check out what the fuss is all about, Marabou's is sold in IKEA stores here in the US. Well, at least it's good to know that M&Ms don't contain any harmful dyes or chlorine residue, right? That's a pretty important victory for hard-shelled chocolate. So what do you think? Which of these banned foods sounds the most delicious?
I can't believe that. I didn't think Coke would be banned anywhere, to be honest.
No.
North Korea, I can kind of like understand that. But have you ever been into a shop that sells drinks and not seen a bottle or a can of Coke? Like anywhere in the world that you've been?
It's the most popular one you've seen.
It's the most popular
You see
drink in the
Coke
world,
and
isn't
Pepsi.
it? Yeah. No, but even so, I've been in shops before and probably not seen Pepsi.
I've never really thought about it. You always have Tango.
And that's just here.
Yeah, but what's the equivalent over there
What?
of Tango?
Fanta.
Fanta, yeah. Yeah.
But Fanta's still probably more popular here anyway than Tango.
Do you know what you don't really see over here though? Cans of lemonade. Like you have Sprite,
You have Sprite and
which is
7-Up.
lemon and lime,
Yeah,
and
but-
7-Up, but you don't get cans of lemonade.
You don't even get bottles of it, do you?
Yeah, you do.
Oh no, you can get like a big bottle of it, I know, like
Yeah.
a Schweppes lemonade.
Yeah, but you don't see really cans of lemonade.
No, you don't. Lemonade's not really a big thing over
And you
here.
don't see, I don't know whether they had it in the States, I don't think they did. It was called Lilt.
It's over here, but it changed.
Oh.
It's not a thing anymore. Because Fanta owned Lilt, now it's Fanta and whatever the Lilt flavour, what was it, like grapefruit and...
Pineapple and grapefruit.
Pineapple and grapefruit. Now it's just called Fanta Pineapple and Grapefruit.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you learn something every day.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button for us, please. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Cheers.